Joy here with Real Progressives. Can you guys let me know if you can see and hear me? I've actually never done video this way, live video this way. So I'll wait a second to see if I can see some comments. I just need you guys to let me know if you can see and hear me. This is a new way that I'm trying tonight. Okay, thanks, Vivian. Awesome. So Vivian, it's kind of fitting that you're watching. Today, many of us got some really bad news. So Levi Sanders, who I've had on the show, who is a friend, who's been a friend for about 2 years. His wife passed away over the weekend, and she was 46, and she passed away 2 days after she was diagnosed with cancer. She got sick 3 weeks ago, and now she's gone. So even though I doubt Lev is watching tonight, of course we send you our love, and they have 3 kids, which is what I keep thinking about. I texted him, that I was thinking about him and everything, but it's awful. She was so awesome. I mean, she is so smart. She had a PhD. She worked in psychology. Just so smart. And Levi loves her so much. You made that very clear in our conversations. It's tough because she's so young and it was so sudden. And especially his dad just had a heart attack and a couple days ago. So our thoughts are with Levi and the kids. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, because it's kind of like, well, I mean, I know Levi. We've had many conversations, but even so, it's so difficult because it is kind of like Bernie says, when you hurt, I hurt. It is like that. You know, we hate seeing others hurting. Um, it breaks our heart because we don't want to see anyone else in pain. And I think that's such a huge part of our movement. Um, so while I kind of narrowly touched on Byrne having a heart attack, of course, it's been a really hard and upsetting week. I think most of us knew it's not like it was going to keep him down and out. But, you definitely see how certain candidates, the fans of certain candidates are just utter garbage. On Twitter, you see, it seems as though Kamala's and Warren's are, there were some good Warrens, but it seems like the most disgusting comments were from Kamala's supporters and Warren supporters. Obviously because they feel threatened, but that's no reason to say some of the things they were saying. Everything from damn, I wish he was dead, or damn, he's gonna come back on the next debate stage in a hearse, and things like that. And it's really fucked up. Like, I You know, like, I loathe Hillary more than like anyone. Like, I loathe her. I would love to barf on her. That's kind of one of my dreams. It's on my bucket list. But when she was passing out all over the damn place, I didn't say stuff like that because it's just, I don't know, it's just messed up. Like, why do you wish that on someone? And, you know, it's just, it's gross. And, um, the fact that we're told, you know, we're these bullies and everything like that, and then you know, we're all taking screenshots of these things, since, you know, Bernie was made to apologize for two people who made comments that were not okay, but one of them had nothing to do with Bernie, and one of them had Bernie 2020 in his description on Twitter, and they were, you know, accused our whole movement of being racist and all this, and it turns out both of them were people of color, but they demanded that Miss Nina and Bernie denounce these tweets, and everything, and it was this whole big ordeal like 2 weeks ago, and it was disgusting because these people, I've never heard of them in my life. I have 10,000 followers and I've never heard of these two people, but somehow they're being, you know, they're us, you know. So it was really gross, seeing, you know, them being essentially forced. They sent them like a 2-page letter. We demand, you know, that you show your disdain for, you know, bullies who support you. And so like every time we see one of those comments where they're like, you know, oh, you know, too bad Bernie survived and stuff, we're like, hey, Kamala, get your girl. Hey, you know, Warren, can we get a public apology for this year? It's bullshit. I mean, it's bullshit. And the fact of the matter is, we have more followers than anyone else on Twitter. The next in line is Warren, and she has less than a third of what we have. So yeah, there's going to be assholes. There's more people. But the fact that there's like 95% at least beautiful, incredible, humanist people who are Bernie supporters solely because we want to help other people. We are empaths, and you know, we want everyone to have health care and to have a living wage and these things. And there's a couple of assholes apparently that, you know, is reminiscent of all of us, and that's not fair or acceptable. Another thing I noticed, I joined Twitter 10 months ago, and it was something I noticed that I guess I was unaware of more so last time, and frankly quite naive to, is that the amount of anti-Semitism on the left is incredible. Truly incredible. I'm not talking about MAGA. I'm talking about people who support Liz Warren and who support Kamala. The amount of anti-Semitism is astounding. It's really incredible. It really is. And it's sad because not only is it anti-Semitism against who would be the first Jewish president, but also it's against someone who lost his family in the Holocaust, which just makes it even worse. It's gross. And, you know, it's very upsetting, especially when they put it on Bernie's actual feed, because, you know, someone on his staff obviously looks through it. And it's just gross. I've seen it a lot from the Yang Bangers too. A lot of anti-Semitic memes. It's disappointing, and it's gross. But, we see this all the time, that the racists are the Republicans. Yeah, no, not so much, because I have tons of screenshots of things that, Donut Twitter has said about Nina, and they're disgusting. Donut Twitter, in case you don't know, is when you see brown donuts on Twitter, that's racist. Um, Nina Turner went to the DNC to present them with a um, with a petition. A lot of us had signed, and she brought donuts. She thought she was being nice. There were people there protesting, who wanted to, support her, and they locked the doors and they wouldn't let her in. During business hours, she is literally part of the Dem committee. She was a senator of Ohio, and they locked the doors. They would not let her in. So Donut Twitter thinks they're hilarious, and they start putting brown donuts on all of their handles, their Twitter handles. So this has been going on for probably about 2 years at least. So when you see brown donuts, that is racist, purely racist. They were not brown donuts. And it's also an option to make pink donuts, but they're using brown. There is so much racism in these resistor people that gets overlooked. Anyway, I digress, but as far as, so of course there's a lot of ugliness, people who are, let's just keep it real. The only people who are still putting Bernie down for being in the hospital are ones that are just salty he made it. They're just salty he's still kicking and still in the race. That's all it is. That's it. They're just pissed. They heard he had a heart attack and they're like, yes, my candidate just shot up. Guess what? I still ain't voting for Liz Warren. I'm still not voting for Kamala. I'm still not voting for Biden. So the fact that these people wish ill of him just because they think it'll give them higher, more votes or higher numbers in the poll, it doesn't work like that. We don't like anyone else. So regardless, I wouldn't support Warren whether Bernie was running or not. But anyway, I'll get back to Warren because I always have gossip on her. So, there's tons of salty people still pushing on, Bernie having a heart attack. Meanwhile, Biden has his brain fucking leaking out of his head, and he's saying, the newest one was the other day, he said both of his sons died on top of his wife and his daughter. Blood was everywhere, and then they went and stayed in the hospital for a very long time. None of that is true. Both of his sons did not die, and one died more recently, and it was from cancer. It was not from the car accident that his wife and daughter died in. And why would they go stay in the hospital for a very long time if they were dead? He's in bad shape. He's in bad shape. I cannot stand that man. He's a warmonger. He's touchy-feely. But I'm getting to the point where I feel genuinely bad for the dude because he has no idea what's going on. He really doesn't. He's clueless. And it's abusive. The fact that his wife and his kids and his campaign staff still has him going out and doing these speeches and saying these things that are just not true, but he thinks they're true. That's bad. So when you're going to talk about Bernie having a heart attack and leaving in a day and going on a walk, and yesterday walking over a mile, looking good as ever, and you're going to talk about that, but Joe Biden and his dentures are falling out on the fucking debate stage, and he's got all this stuff wrong with him cognitively, and you're okay with that. You've never said shit about that. the fact of the matter is, nobody in this universe could keep up with Bernie and his schedule. It's just that simple. He was interviewed today and he said, you know what? I should have listened to my body. I was dumb. I should have listened to my body. I haven't felt as good the past month or so, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. He was literally doing 3 or 4 rallies a day. That's insane. Nobody works even a fraction as hard. So, and it was cute because Jane was standing behind him when he was like, I should have listened to my body. She was like, yeah, I fucking told you, you stubborn asshole. It was adorable. So I'm so glad he's back. He's still fighting, of course, like we knew he would. He just needs to kind of chill a little. He's doing too much. It's not his age. It's just, but you know, it started trending on Twitter. It was called My Stent Story. And all these people who were like, I had stents when I was 40. I lost my dad when he was 50, or, you know, things like that. And, of course, people want to use it as an age thing, and it's not. It's not his age. I had Dr. Victoria Dooley on the day that he went in the hospital, and she actually read the articles and everything as a physician, and she's like, this happens all the time. They wouldn't have released him in 48 hours if it was a huge deal. You know, so people are definitely trying to make, you know, they're trying to make a bigger deal out of it. Yes, it's a big deal. I understand he had a heart attack. I get it. But at the same time, he's not going to stop. And I don't want him to stop. Selfishly, even if it's not to get the presidency, we need him fighting for these things, because we know damn right well no one else is. Nobody on that debate stage would be talking about a single one of these things if he didn't run in 2016. We all know that. So we need him to keep fighting. Regardless of the outcome, we need him to keep going, to hold people accountable, to tell them, look, you need to stay progressive, because the second he would drop out, Liz Warren's already not progressive, but she would even scale back even more, and everyone else. So, sorry, Bernie, you're stuck. But he's stubborn, and he was trying to get out of the hospital like the second he woke up. He's like, yeah, I gotta go. I knew he would, because he's so stubborn like that. He walks miles every day, and he was cooped up in a hospital bed for 2 days. What's bothering me just as much as the people making comments like, oh, too bad he's still kicking and things like that, what bothers me just as much is the people who are saying, you know, basically just being ableist, being just really ugly as far as telling him what he should and shouldn't do. There's also people who say never Bernie on their Twitter in their intro, and then they're like, you know, it's not that I think bad about Bernie, I just really think he should drop. You know, we can see your page, right? We can see that in your bio you have never Bernie. We can see you have that, right? And they're using it to seem like they're great people. Like, you know, he really should drop because it's not good for his health. Bitch, shut up. It's so fake. The other thing that's bothering me is that they're saying, and people like Nate Silver and all those shills who literally are obsessed with Bernie. Obsessed. those pundits will never make a single post without Bernie's name in them. It's always negative, but every single one, like even if they post about Warren, it'll say Bernie fans aren't going to like this, like at the bottom of it. It's so crazy. And we're never supporters, we're always fans. But I digress. So they're all saying he's supposed to be known for transparency. He didn't come out and say it was a heart attack soon enough. Well, here's the thing. As someone with medical needs, I can tell you that things change a lot before your final consultation. You'll speak to 5 different specialists, several different doctors. You speak to tons of people. You speak to a few nurses as well. And by the time you leave, you've heard, well, it could be, and maybe you should, a million times. So before you have that final consultation and they give you your discharge papers, you'd be stupid to go out and call a press conference and be like, okay, it could be this, it could be that, we're not sure if it's this. Okay, so you want him to give info before he actually knew what it was, so you could say he was being transparent, but then you would have been like, well, first he said it was so-and-so. No, he literally released info a couple hours after he left the hospital. It was the same day. It's not like he left the hospital and a week later people would still be like, oh my God, why isn't he saying what's wrong? No, it was the same day. When you're in the hospital, you don't think about shit like that. Admittedly, I've been in the hospital and not even called my dad until I got home because I didn't want to upset him, let alone me calling a freaking press conference and telling people who always shit on me, oh, guess what? I just had a heart attack. Yeah, no, sorry. The lack of, the lack of sympathy and empathy and respect of HIPAA, mind you. They were, Bernie was getting slammed because they were going in and trying to talk to the doctors and ask them things. You can't freaking do that. Dude, like seriously, and then they're shaming Bernie like he won't let the doctors talk to us. It's HIPAA. It's against the law. It has nothing to do with him saying okay. He'd have to sign paperwork and it's on camera. Like they'll pick anything to get mad at him for. Anything. It doesn't matter. So ultimately, it's just really gross the way people are attacking him for holding out until he got out of the hospital, which was he was only in there for 2 days. And I mean, let's be honest, if it were Warren, we'd be sexist for asking any of those details. So there's so much ageism with like anything with Bernie. It's really incredible. Old white guy. I must hear that 20 times a day, even though your erasure is anti-Semitic. But so yeah, he's too old. Okay, well, Joe Biden's 10 months younger and he's a damn mess. So don't tell me too old. So speaking of Liz Warren, oh, Liz Warren. Oh, yes. So some of you guys may have heard she in her stump speeches, she started with this, I was fired for being pregnant when I was teaching. I was showing and they fired me. They didn't want me to be pregnant while I was a teacher. And she makes this part of her stump speech about how she's for women and women deserve having, you know, time off from teaching, things like that. Well, people did some research, and it turns out she had a baby over the summer when school's not in session, and there are records from the college that state that she was offered a position starting the next year. She was offered to come back in September. She chose not to. And there's an interview, this is on my Twitter as well, along with the screenshot of the documentation showing she was offered to come back in September. There's a video of her going around stating, yeah, you know, I just decided not to go back to teaching because it wasn't for me. I decided I wanted to go back to school to take another path. So which is it? They offered you the position and you decided to turn it down because you realized teaching wasn't for you? Or is it you got fired because you're pregnant? Because those are kind of two different things. So now today, you know, she's been getting a lot of heat for this, even from some kind of, you know, shills, not as much as she should, but, you know, so she comes out today with this passive-aggressive, pathetic tweet about, not everyone knows what goes on. I was fired for being pregnant and blah, blah, blah. And it just blew up. The comments are nothing but proof showing she's a liar. She lies so much, and that's something that worries me because I don't believe her when she acts like she's being honest, and I don't believe her because she lies a lot. My biggest issue when it comes to like identity politics is, you know, they keep saying, vote for women, vote for women. Well, you know what? Someone who lies about losing their job because they're pregnant does not help women in any way, shape, or form at all. And that's actually hurting us. That's minimizing the claims of legitimacy. When that actually does happen, then women are going to be like, oh yeah, like Liz Warren, sure, that happened. That's how these things happen, because people claim bullshit. Javier, absolutely. Byrne just came out with a plan, which is, you know, oh, he just got out of the hospital. Oh, okay, cool. Well, he also just came out with a plan to take money out of the Dem convention as a whole. So I was at the convention last time, and I'll be there this time. And it's interesting because when you went to the convention, all you see are Comcast signs, AT&T signs, everywhere. These people also donated countless dollars to Warren, mind you. But it's a corporate party. That's all it is. It's corporations. And Bernie came out with legislation to say, if I'm the Dem nominee, there will be no corporations at that Dem convention. So not only is he saying not in my campaign, he's saying not at the convention either. Now, here's something awesome. The DNC, who stole millions from us, is $7.4 million in the hole. They're literally $7.4 million in debt. This is the DNC, which is just delicious. Now, when Bernie's campaign, after everything we've done, the videos we've done, the ads we've done, commercials, paying staff, everything like that, right now at this present moment, we are at an over 30 million surplus. Sorry, DNC. So, and it's funny that we actually have more money in our campaign than the DNC and DCCC do combined. So this is true grassroots. I know Liz loves to say she's grassroots. She's not. She has people on her campaign staff who, were CEOs of like banks and everything like that. Every time she posts grassroots, it makes me want to scream. Oh yeah, Rob, I know. Yeah, Rob, he's a teammate. He says that MSM is saying that Bernie's numbers are dropping because of his health scare. And we all anticipated that would happen, and that's why I refuse to watch MSM. I watch a clip here and there because a viewer will send it to me, and it'll be like a clip, so I don't have to sit through the whole thing. Or like when Miss Nina's on and the whole thing is just her bitching someone out so hardcore. Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that. But yeah, it's so predictable, all of it. It really is, and all it does is infuriate me. So, one of the things that actually really impressed me, I gotta say, is Beto. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but it was really awesome the way he responded. It really was. The journo asked him, "How do you feel? Is health very important on the campaign trail?" And he says, "Yes. And if you're asking me about Senator Sanders, what I will say is he's an asset to the race, and he's got more energy, and he's stronger than any other candidate, and I look forward to him coming back." But it was even longer than that. And it was just really classy, and it was just like, honestly, like I shared it and I was like, damn, Beto endorsed Bernie, because that's what it sounded like. He's like, we all need his voice, and he like even said the word better than any other candidate, and I'm like, you're running too. So I appreciated that. I also appreciated how he's saying fuck a lot. That makes me happy. So, I think that's really classy for another candidate to say that. Liz Warren is an opportunist. We all know this. She decided to send Bernie's staff sandwiches or pizza or something, some kind of lunch, and decided to have her team post it all over Twitter. And, she's made out to be, oh my God, this is what it's supposed to be like. We're all supposed to come together. Yeah, you know what? That'd be cool if I actually believe it. You believe that you did it sincerely. We all know damn right well she didn't. I mean, come on. No, she didn't. And then it was funny because I responded to someone who was praising her, and I said, is this kind of like when we sent stacks of pizzas and sandwiches in every single state when the voting lines were hours long, even though regardless of who the people were voting for? And this girl's like, no, it's not. This is about solidarity. And I was like, well, what the fuck was that for? It wasn't just for Bernie supporters. They could have been voting for Hillary. We just sent it to people who were waiting in line. And she's like, it's different. How? And the thing is, with us, we weren't putting it on social media. We were just doing it because we were like, oh my God, some of these people are in wheelchairs. They're sitting there for hours trying to get in to vote. So we were sending water and pizzas and stuff because we were like, these people are going to pass out or they're going to leave or whatever, and everyone has a right to vote. This is ridiculous. So, so we were just all chipping in and doing it. And, but we didn't feel the need to, post it all over the place. So it's very apparent that that's what it was for her campaign. And of course it worked. As we expected it would. She is, the thing about Liz Warren is, I could go on for hours about how many things I loathe about her. However, the thing that bothers me the most is that people actually call her progressive. She actually calls her campaign grassroots. These things bother me the most, because if Kamala would say that, everybody knows damn right well she's full of shit. There is no debating it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're progressive prosecutor. But Liz Warren is getting away with this. People are saying there's only two progressives in the race, Bernie and Liz. She's not progressive. Taking big money, waffling on Medicare for all, not progressive. Those two things alone. Stop. She's not progressive. That's what bothers me the most with her, because people are linking her with Bernie, and there's not a fraction of him in her. Not a fraction. Why is Clinton started to clap? What do you mean? Clinton started to clap on The View? For what? Yep, Bernie for life. That's for damn sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Cindy. The MSM got Sanjay Gupta on TV and Dr. Oz with the hope that they would just rip Bernie a new asshole. Like, he needs to stay home, he needs to go in bed, and neither one of them said anything they were trying to get them to say. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, I can't do Warren. Some people really, they're really like, oh, if Warren was VP, we'd have the best team. No, no, I can't. I'm telling you guys, if Bernie would do a VP thing with Warren, my heart would never be the same. It just wouldn't. And, even someone in Bernie's own family told me straight up, he's loyal to a fault. And you can see that, because when he puts his arm around her or his hand on her back, I want to shake him. It upsets me so bad. And it's like, how can you do that? How can you do that? She is a betrayer. She not only, didn't endorse you, but she claps for Donald Trump when he disses you. I don't know how he can be so like, you're my friend. I don't know. I guess I'm just not that good of a person, because I'll never forgive her, ever. It's just not going to happen. There's literally one way I would vote for Warren, and it's if he was her VP and they announced it or some shit. I don't know, something like that. But I don't see that happening since she's working with Hillary. As far as Hillary, dancing around that maybe I will run again type thing, they're asking for Trump 2020. I mean, they're just asking for it. They don't care. She's already lost twice. Biden's already lost twice. They don't care. They're just floating these people around. So here's my thing, and I've been saying this a few months, even before new reports were coming out that Liz and Hillary have been talking. Liz has Hillary's campaign team on her own campaign team. She hired a lot of the same people. She's been meeting with Cap. She's been talking to Hillary. MSM is praising her. These things should worry you. articles are coming out saying that Wall Street's not afraid of her anymore. She just had 2 more billionaires donate to her campaign. You know, I mean, this is, there's let's just keep it real. Wall Street and the corporations are scared of one person and one person only. Bernie fucking Sanders. That's it. If you hate MSM and you hate Wall Street and corporations and corporate greed and stuff, why would you then vote for someone who they don't fear? I'm voting for someone who terrifies them. That's who I want. You're not doing anything but capitulating to reinforce what they're doing. If you know, if they're going to give to her campaign, I don't want her. So yeah, it's definitely seeing them get compared is something I'm never going to get used to. It's always going to piss me off. Always. Yeah, Doreen, I'm scared of that too. Warren's taking down the progressive movement on lies, and that I see that happening in some places. I really do. Oh, but back to Hillary. So here's my fear, and I really hope it's paranoia. I've said this before. So my fear is that, okay, so why would Warren be talking to Hillary unless they're working out some kind of plan? She's not asking her advice on how to lose, I'm pretty sure. So I'm thinking, okay, so like I said, I hope this is paranoia. But what I'm thinking is, okay, so let's put Liz in the race. Let's get everyone to, you know, like her, which it took 6 months before Liz even made it above 6% in the polls, mind you. But let's get Liz in. Let's get her to get up in the polls. Let's get her, yay, vagina voter, women. It's time for a woman in the White House. The cheer they're doing, her people and Kamala's people. And then I say, yeah, her name is Jane Sanders. But anyway, so let's get all those, you know, pussy hat people excited and get everyone pumped up. And then we're going to have Hillary enter. We're going to have Warren drop and endorse Hillary. And then people will be presumptuous. It's going to be a Warren as VP. They'll have all the people who have been backing Warren. And now they're going to have the two of them as a team. And they're going to elect them at the convention. This is what I think is very feasible. And the reason I say this also is that people can still enter the presidential race until January 31st. That's terrifying. Literally 4 more months, 3 more months. People can jump in. I am going to be scared of this until January 31st. Because especially when Trump's like, hey, you know, on Twitter, I don't know if it was today, someone sent it to me on Twitter. Trump was like, hey, Hillary, you should run again. And she goes, don't tempt me. Listen, jackass, the reason he's saying that is because he knows he can beat your ass again. And all these people are like, yeah, yes, queen, yes, queen. You get Trump again, it's your fucking fault. It's your fault. And unfortunately, we keep having to pay for all of their bad karma. I mean, it's just, oh my God, it's so frustrating. So really, anything could happen. There's still 19 people in the race. What else is complete bullshit is I was glad when I saw that 12 candidates were going to be eligible for the debates this time. Because then I thought, okay, cool, we'll have 2 nights, 6 and 6. because 10 was so much. No, they're going to do 12 in one night. So they're still not splitting it up. Why do you need 12 people on one stage at one night? I know why. Because they want to see fights. They want to see people interrupt. They don't want Joe Biden to have enough speaking time because he's a mess. And everyone fights to get their time. And then when it comes to Biden, he's like, oh, but I guess my time is up. So it's, it's all contrived. A few of the people I can't even name have never been on one of the debates. I'm not sure why they haven't dropped out. It's kind of pathetic and weird. But in any case, yeah, there's still 19, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I didn't make notes because this was totally spur of the moment. Thursday night, I have, her name is Taylor Hudak. And she is for Julian Assange Unity Vigil. She does a podcast on Julian Assange. And she's going to be joining me Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, to discuss, basically what we need to look out for, what's going on currently with him, things like that. And basically, I'm anxious to talk to her about how all of a sudden people love whistleblowers because they're exposing Trump, but Julian Assange, oh my God, he's Satan. You know how that always happens. But yeah, so that'll be Thursday night, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you see a post by Levi Sanders, or on Facebook, Twitter, anything like that, please give him your love, because this is, I can't even fathom. I did start a thread on my Twitter to give Levi some love, and I will be texting him the thread. So if you want to write something down, I'm going to text him the thread. But yeah, that's rough. So he's going to need some support. But thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys are awesome as always. Much love. I'll see you Thursday night.